Hi there, my name is Lo. Welcome to my channel where I discuss everything between Hermes and grocery bags. Today I'm doing another true unboxing, just seeing my initial reaction and then coming back to it like a week later to give a bit more of my thoughts and an actual review in having used the bag for the first couple of times. Now I think as I'm going to grab this plastic bag that my kitty is going to get a little bit scared. But that is the YouTube live, kitty. I'm sorry. Yes, sorry. So I ordered another bag from Zalando, and the last bag I got from Zalando was a Coach medicine pillow bag that came horribly packaged. Like, it was just in a plastic bag, which was in one of these plastic bags. And also, unfortunately, when I opened it up, it turned out to be a return. It turned out to be damaged. It had quite a significant scratch on it, so I had to return that. Unfortunately, and learn from my mistake, I had actually bought a bunch of gift cards with a discount to spend on Zalando on this Coach bag. But then when I had to return it, and when I figured I wasn't going to get a different Coach bag, like exchange it for one that wasn't damaged, I was kind of stuck with these gift cards. So I was on the lookout for another bag, and Zalando has its own stock, but it also collaborates quite a bit with these external sellers, so to say. And I saw that one of them was Strathberry, and this was a brand that interests me and that I wanted to get a bag from. And I figured if this is coming from a third seller, so not from Zalando directly, perhaps they'll do a better job on the packaging. But unfortunately, as you can see, again, it came in this bag. I do feel that there's a box inside of this bag. I can, however, already feel that the box has been squished. So let's just get it out of the packaging and see what state this bag is in. Okay, as you can indeed see, this box has been squished, but I'm happy it is at least in a box. Let's open this one up. It's looking pretty good at first sight. So what I got is a Strathberry Nano Tote. It's come with, well, I'm not sure if you can call this a dust bag. Is this a dust bag? So the dust bag apparently is also a tote. Let me just get that out of the way. Came with the Strathberry care guide. That looks pretty. Yeah, let me just run this through an initial inspection. This is sort of the Saffiano type of leather, so it's quite heavily embossed, but supposedly that will also make it more durable. I'd have to say that in terms of quality, it's looking good. Okay, at least nothing is wrong with this one, I think. So actually, I wasn't really expecting the Saffiano leather. I'm not really a very big fan of Saffiano, but it does make it look a little bit more edgy, I suppose. So let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can see a little bit better. That's feet. Yeah, I think that if I was going to get a bag from Strathberry, it would definitely be one of these totes. Just wondering a little bit in terms of what size would be best. I have to say, this is very cute. It was smaller than I had expected. I saw this Facebook commercial come by on this bag where they were showing what fits in it. And they also put a pair of sunglasses in there and a compact wallet and a phone, and honestly, I'm not really sure if all of that would go in here. So I just grabbed a bit of a bulkier sunglass case. That already becomes a very tight squeeze. And the bag closes off with these magnets at the top. That's, yeah. Okay, so a bulky case for sunglasses will already not fit. I think this is really one that I will just have to try out and perhaps let it sit for a little while to see if it's something I like, because I'm a bit underwhelmed with the size of this. Also, this chain is fairly lightweight. this leather strap feels a bit flimsy. I mean, it's cute, but I'm not super overwhelmed by this, at least not yet. So I'm just going to let it sit and think about it for a little bit longer. Alright, so I'm back. It's been, I think, a little over a month now since I've had this bag. I've used it for, I think, a good handful of times, especially during my vacation or my staycation, because then there were quite a lot of instances where I didn't have to pack all that much and where this bag came in pretty handy. It's taking me a little bit longer to shoot this review than I had anticipated, just because I stumbled a little bit upon a backlog of videos that I wanted to make before this. But now I had some time, and I think I also have sufficient experience with this bag right now to do sort of a first impressions review. So let's get started. So perhaps just to summarize again for those of you who have skipped the unboxing, this is the Strathberry Nano Tote. This one comes in a Saffiano leather in the color black, and as you can see, the hardware is silver. This bag comes in a plethora of variations, not only in terms of the material but also in terms of the color. The Saffiano leather is a bit of an exception. I think most of these come in a smooth leather, but I've also seen them come by in more of a grained leather. They have them in one color, in a multitude of colors. They have them with different colors within one bag, so that the handle has one color, for example, and the rest of the bag another color. They come with prints. There's variations with gold hardware as well. So if you like the style of this bag, there should definitely be an option for you out there. Just to do a little tour of the bag. As you can see, this is a top handle bag. It also comes with a chain strap that is still inside of the bag, but I will take that out a little bit later. Here on the front of the bag, there's not a lot of marking going on, but it does say Strathberry onto the side. The back doesn't have a back pocket, but this is a very small bag, so that doesn't surprise me. And then the other side, this bag does come with feet, which is always convenient and a good protection for the base of your bag. I think it's also kind of cute on a bag this size. Then moving on to the top. So this bag has two closings. First of all, this bar that has to go over the top handle, but then there's also the magnets on both sides of the bag. And as you can also see, the D-rings are located over here and over here, and they tuck nicely away in the bag if you're not using the strap. That is always a nice feature in my opinion. Then the dimensions. This bag is 18 centimeters in width. That's 7.1 inches. The height is 15 centimeters or 5.9 inches. And the base of the bag over here is 8 centimeters or 3.1 inches. It does taper up completely towards the top. The weight of this bag is 400 grams, which corresponds to about 0.9 pounds. As I already said, the bag comes with a top handle. The drop of this top handle is 6 centimeters or 2.4 inches. For me, this is too small to conveniently hold in the hand. It can fit about 3 fingers, and that is it. I can also not really slide my hand through the top handle. I suppose that if I would, I might get stuck and the firefighters have to cut me out of it. So let's not do that. This bag does come with a chain strap. It is detachable, but it is not adjustable. Here it is. The length of this chain strap is 110 centimeters or 43.3 inches. I will insert some mod shots, of course, of me wearing this for reference. I'm about 1 meter 70 centimeters or 5'5", and I'm usually a size large. This length is okay on me. Frankly, I would have liked it to be just 10 centimeters longer, but if you are more petite, this should sit on you quite well, I think. So initially with the unboxing, I was saying that this strap feels kind of flimsy. So the flimsiness is really just in this piece of leather. It is nice that they've added a piece of leather that makes it more comfortable to wear, but compared to how sort of thick and structured the leather on this bag is, this just feels very flimsy. The rest of the chain, however, I would say is of a pretty good weight for the size of this bag. Then the interior. This bag has a microfiber lining. It has this one bigger main compartment, and then at the actually front of the bag it has this slit pocket as well, which is fairly spacious. You can put a card holder in here. I just have the Strathberry care booklet in here. So then what fits in this bag, because it is a pretty small bag. I already demonstrated in the unboxing that like these bulky type of sunglass cases are not going to fit. It's also related to the fact that this bag needs to taper in a little bit. Anything that is pretty much the same width as the bag itself is just going to have a hard time fitting, because you cannot utilize the full width of this bag. If I put the case in here, it does technically fit. The bag can even close, but then you are going to see the sunglass case bulge out over here. And I try to avoid doing that with my bags. Just putting in some sunglasses, and these are just for demonstration purposes and they are pretty wide, but just putting in some sunglasses, that should be fine. Don't see them sticking out. Similarly with a phone, I think a lot of bigger phones are going to have issues. This is a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. This folds out to about 16 centimeters. Again, this does sort of fit, but then the bag cannot really close anymore. So if you have a bigger phone, this is probably not a good bag if you want to carry your phone in it. Fortunately, mine folds, and that's one of the reasons that I love it, because it goes so much smaller and it fits in so many more bags. So I have my phone in here. A compact wallet can fit. Again, you have to be a little bit mindful of what other things you're going to put in this bag. So I've added the compact wallet, and you can see it still fits. It's still held together by the magnets, but because you also have this closure, putting the bar over the top handle will make sure that everything stays in place. So as you can see, I have a little bit more space over here where I could put some keys or a lippy or something like that, perhaps even my headphones, but this is really the type of bag that only fits a couple of essentials. So it's nice if you don't have to take all that much with you. Frankly, if you're going to need just the slightest bit more of capacity in your bag, this is probably not going to do. So what are the pros and cons of this bag? Starting off with the pros, I think I read somewhere that it takes at least 20 hours to construct a Strathberry bag, and you might wonder, really 20 hours for such a tiny little bag? But honestly, it's been so well crafted. Even in this size, I do feel like you're really getting a decent piece of craftsmanship. What I really like, for example, about this bag is that here in the corners, for the leather to go around the corner, they have actually put in an additional seam. It's a bit hard to see, but perhaps you can see it over here. And that's really a nice piece of finishing, which I didn't see in the Desmaillé Montreal Nano bag, for example. There they went around the corner, but instead of inserting a seam, they just kind of stuffed the leather in there and then sew it together. And I just think that this is a more elegant way to go about the construction. This is made really beautifully, and it does get me more interested in what else Strathberry has to offer. Initially, I wasn't expecting to get the Saffiano. I rechecked my order and I definitely ordered a smooth leather one, but eventually I did decide to go with this. So I'm not a very big fan in Saffiano, or at least I've had Michael Kors Saffiano in the past. I think I'm just kind of over these big Saffiano bags. But having this small bag in Saffiano, it does make it a little bit more edgy. And what I also really like is that Saffiano is overall more durable and hard wearing than smooth leather. So leather wise, I wouldn't really be concerned taking this out in the rain. I'm curious though what water would do to the hardware in the longer run. So I would still remain a little bit vigilant of rain. Some other nice features of this bag is that you have sort of a dual closing. So on the one hand you have the magnets, but on the other hand you have the extra layer of security of this bar keeping the bag together and in place. The magnets on this bag are also not very strong, but I feel like they are just sort of strong enough to close the bag and to make sure that there's not too much strain on this bar keeping the bag closed. I really like that the D-rings on this bag hide away onto the inside. Although this is not a bag that I would really wear without a strap, I always think it's a nice design feature when D-rings can hide away inside of a bag if you are not wearing it with the strap. Overall with this bag, I would say that you are getting the look of a Strathberry tote, and although it only fits a number of essentials, you are getting something that is still fairly functional, and I can always appreciate that, especially with these types of sizes that they call nano. Then the cons. First of all, this bag has very limited versatility in terms of how you can wear it. I wear this bag with the crossbody strap, well, perhaps over the shoulder instead of crossbody, but that is about it. This bag doesn't wear comfortably for me in the hand. It's convenient that it has a top handle, so I can just grab it if I need to go or need to get out of my car, but because it doesn't comfortably fit my whole hand, I don't really see myself wearing this as a top handle. Also, because the strap only comes in one size. I think with straps it's pretty obvious that one size definitely doesn't fit all. Although it does change the aesthetics of the strap, it would have been nice if it would have been adjustable. As I already pointed out, and it's a bit nitpicky, but the strap, or at least the leather on the strap, is a little bit flimsy. For such a beautiful bag, I think they could have done better. Another thing is that I've seen other YouTubers say that this bar can be a bit fuzzy to use. I think for me personally it is okay, especially on this smaller size. It is still something that you can just do with one hand, and then the rest of the bag you could also technically still open with one hand if you have to. Honestly, I've had bags that are a lot worse, but yeah, if you're looking for something that is super easy access, this again, not the bag for you. And then finally, the thing I dislike the most about this bag, still to some extent, is the size. Yes, it holds essentials. Yes, it is pretty functional for what it is, but I think this bag would have a lot more to offer if they would have just made it a couple of centimeters or like an inch bigger. I think if there were a size in between the nano and the midi, that is definitely a size that I would get, because I feel it would still have that cuteness to some extent, but it would just fit stuff a lot easier because this bag tapers in at the top. You lose so much capacity. If we compare it to a Marc Jacobs tote bag in a size micro for a second, and I know these bags have a very different aesthetic, but you can actually see that they are somewhat similar in size. So the Marc Jacobs bag is definitely a tad bigger, but that's mostly to the depth of the bag, because as you can see, they have very similar width, they have very similar height. But if you want something that can still pack a punch, then this is the bag for you, because this does actually fit a smaller water bottle, sunglass case, bigger phone, everything, because this end also goes out rather than in like on this bag. And it just makes all of the difference in terms of capacity. So then what would be my recommendation with regards to this bag? I think I would recommend it, but with a few reservations. This is definitely a nice and functional starter piece from Strathberry. If you want to get a bag from Strathberry just to try it out, perhaps because you don't want to buy an SLG from them. I know myself, I'm just mostly into handbags, so I don't really go out to buy SLGs from brands while I'm really looking for a handbag. But in any case, if you want to get a taste of Strathberry, this is a really nice option. I think it does capture the spirit of the Strathberry tote without actually being the full size thing. Having said that, this is a bag that's only going to work for you if you don't carry all that much. If you're in the market for a small bag just for errands, and I mean, this is also, especially depending on what kind of color and material you get it in, a bag that you can easily dress up. So it might also be a cute evening bag, for example, but you really must strive to only pack the minimum with this. And then coming to the price of this, frankly, and I also have this with the Marc Jacobs Tote Micro, I think this is overpriced, because I do see it more of like an entry-level piece for Strathberry. And yes, it is beautifully crafted. In that sense, I would indeed expect that a lot more work has gone into this than into a Marc Jacobs tote in a micro size. But I think this retails for over 400 euros, and that is pretty steep. Fortunately, these Strathberry bags, they do go on sale. Of course, what they are getting rid of is mostly their seasonal colors, or perhaps a bit of the more odd materials like this Saffiano. Perhaps that's why this was also on sale. So if you're not too picky about the color, and they do come in really a very wide array of very nice colors, then you might be able to get a good deal with these types of bags of these more contemporary brands. I would already not buy at retail, I suppose, and especially for such a small bag, I do feel like the price for retail is pretty steep. But altogether, I decided to keep it. I have been enjoying it. I have quite a number of occasions where I just need to run out the door with my phone and my keys and a card holder, either to run an errand or to go walking. That the material on this bag is fairly durable and water resistant. That makes me also more comfortable in wearing it, because I do get caught up in the rain once in a while here in the Netherlands. So, fun addition to my collection. Although I don't really have another Strathberry bag on my radar right now, I am more curious now in what they do have to offer. So time will tell if I will add more Strathberry bags to my collection, but at least this was a good introduction. So that's all I have to say on the matter for now. I hope this was useful. If you have any questions for me about this bag, feel free to drop them down below in the comments and I'll get back to you. Remember, for now, there's a styling, a situation, and a taste for everything, so don't judge. Wear whatever the bag you like. Thanks for watching. Until next time, or as we would say in Dutch, doei!